Hello all. Today we will see a very important topic, that is data structures. So we will start from very basics and in a very easier method so that you all will understand about data structures. So let's start. Uh, yes, what and all we are going to learn today. First is why and what is data structures, then types of data structure, then array, and then programs about array. Okay, so first is why and what is data structure. Assume that you have two cupboards, cupboard 1 and cupboard 2. Here in cupboard it is a mess and clothes are not organized or arranged properly, but here in the second cupboard all the clothes are organized properly. So if you are given a chance to pick one of the clothes from a cupboard of your wish, obviously which cupboard you'll prefer, that is the second one. That is because it is organized neatly and it is easier for you to pick, right? Similarly, even in computer memory or disk storage, what happens is, if the data are organized neatly, then it is easy to fetch the data and it will be a best utilization of the memory. So data structure provides a way for this. Data structure is a way of organizing the data or arranging the data, right? And okay, let's again go to the cupboard itself. So in cupboard you can arrange the data according to many ways, right? Say for example according to the color, or according to the newest one, or according to the jeans, t-shirt, or any ways which you would prefer, right? So similarly, even data structure provides multiple methods or ways to store your data. Okay, so let's see the definition. Data structure provides a way of storing and organizing the data in the computer, same as a clothes, right? Consider clothes as a data, and data structure will provide a way to store all these data in the computer. Okay, so data structure is a process through which data is stored and arranged in the disk space of the computer memory storage. Okay, so here whatever the storage space is there, here in computer world it is considered as computer memory or disk space. Okay, so next is, what are the major classification of data structure? Mainly there are two major classifications. One is linear and another one is non-linear. So as the name says, linear means the elements are arranged in sequential manner. Linear means sequential manner. Let's consider four elements, 1, 2, 3, 4. How they are connected? How they are arranged in linear? They are connected one after the other. So each member element is connected to its previous and next element. If you consider this one, this is connected to previous element and the next element. It is in sequential manner, right? So some of the examples are like array, stack, queue, and list. So we will be seeing all these one by one in detail. So what is the main drawback of the linear data structure? See, even though this one is very easy to be implemented, but this is not that memory friendly. Okay, remember this point. So next is non-linear data structure. As the name says, this is not linear. Means the datas will not be in like sequential form. It will be in multiple layers. Just a second. Okay, it will be in multiple layers. See, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and it may have multiple path. See, 4 has, okay, let's take okay, 7 has multiple path, 1, 2, 3, means that you can reach 7 through 4, either 12 or 2. But in this case what happened, you can reach to only through one, that is only a one way is there, sequential way, but here it is not like that. So linear structures are like it will have multiple paths and multiple levels, and in a single run you cannot reach any element. Okay, so this way is a very efficient usage of the memory. So example, graph, map, tree. Here this one is graph and this one is a tree. Okay, next is one of the very important data structure is array. Okay, so this one is a linear data structure. So array, if you consider any string matching, string length, string reverse, so array will be used here. Okay, so array is a very important data structure. So let's see, in array you will have number of elements. These are called array elements. And this is a array index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So using the array index itself, the array elements are accessed. So this is a total length of the array. So here how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements are there. So array length would be 5. Okay, and one important note is that in array you should have only same type element, means that you cannot have integer, float, character like that. You should have all the elements as integer, or all the elements characters, or all the elements as a float. This is a very important point to be remembered under array. Okay, so array is a static. So array is a static means the size, if you define now, you cannot change it. It means you cannot increase or decrease it during the runtime. Okay, next is declaration and initialization of the array. So first let's see, this is a declaration part. This is a declaration part, means that you will declare the array. Here I have given a of 5 and float a of 5, means integer array. Array elements are of type int. How many are there? 5 elements. What is the array name? It is a. So here array of type float, how many elements? 5 elements, and array name is a. And how do you initialize it? Initialize means giving the value to that. How many elements I have? 5 elements. So maximum 5 elements, or less than that also you can initialize. So float means it is a 1.1, 2.0, 3.8 floating point numbers. Okay, so here, as I've already said, array can be accessed, means array elements can be accessed only using the array index. So how do we represent the array index? That is array name and then index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till here. So next is array length. Array length is a very important factor, so which will be used in any program you write for the array. So usually you need to know this, that is size of the array. How do you find? This is a size of a array. Okay, size of, if you use this and then array name a, right? So that if you use, you will get a size of the array. So what is size of array? Here it is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So next let's see how to print array elements. Okay, so here I have taken 5 elements and the array name is a, and here is a array index. Okay, so int a, int j, and then now print the enter the element of the array. So if you want to enter the element of the array, from where you will start? You need to start from the beginning, right? So beginning means first you should have one variable to access, that means to traverse. Traverse means to travel. Okay, first what you will do? You'll start from 0, right? So j0, and then it will check whether 0 is less than 5. Yes, 0 is less than 5. Why we have given 5 here? That is because array elements, how many elements are there? 5 elements. Don't get confused between here. Here you can have any elements like 10, 12, 13, 14, anything you can have. Here I have given a sorted array. So here is a array size we are giving, that is 5. Okay, started from 0 to 4 means 5. So j plus plus, that will be incremented once the code block is executed. So scanf %d ampersand a of j. What is a? A won't be changed. What is j? J is 0. E of 0 means what? E of 0 means 1. 1 will be fetched here. Okay, so here in red what I have written is, you can also write j less than or equal to 4 instead of 5. How? J less than 5 means till 4 it will be executed, means a of 4. Or you can also write j less than or equal to 4 means till 4 it equal to, till here it will be executed. One of these two you can mention, don't use both. So what happens once that is executed a of 0, then j will be incremented, right? So incremented means in first it was 0, then it will be 1 plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. Then what happens? J is equal to 1. Once j is equal to 1, whether 1 is less than 5, yes, it will go here, it will take a of 1, that is value 2. Okay, so what is the scanf means? We are taking the input, don't get confused, here we are taking the input. Next, similarly it will go, it will iterate, and then it will reach till where 4 is less than 5, so a of 4, that is 5 will be fetched. Okay, but once it reaches 5, what happens? 5 is less than 5. Is it true? No, 5 is not less than 5. 5 is equal to 5. That's why the for loop fails here and it comes out of the loop. So elements of a given array, now it will be displayed. Now same loop you can use, instead of scanf just use printf. So in the beginning what mistake you do is, here also, even here in printf also you use what? Ampersand. Okay, don't get confused and you will get an error and you will not know what is the error you have done. So scanf you will use ampersand, that is to take the input. Printf you will not give the ampersand, that is to print the output. So print is to print, scan means to scan the input. So first e of 0 will be fetched, e of 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, now let's move to one more program, the easy program, but most of the times it is asked, that is reverse of the array. So let's think practically. Okay, you have this reverse means you want to print from here, right? 5 4 3 2 1 you want to print. So if you want to print from here, means you want to start the for loop from here itself, right? It is obvious. If you start the for loop from here, means it will take the first element itself. If you start the for loop from here, then it will take the last element. So you need to traverse from the opposite. So what do? You will take the size of the array, that is the last element. Okay, size of the array, that is if size of the array here is 5. So what I have done is, I have not given the size of the array here, I have taken directly n. You can take any array size here. So int I and n. So what I will do, I will take n from the console. Okay, so console means user will be giving the input ampersand n. Here n size I have given as 5. That's why I can enter only 5. Instead of this, a of 5 will be replaced, right? So enter the element of the array. This is same as what we have done previously, but instead of 5 it will take n. N means internally it will be replaced with 5. Okay, next is elements of the given array. Here is a twist. How? You will start from n minus 1, that is n is what? It is 5. Minus 1 is what? 4. So a of 4 is what? 5. 5 will be fetched. It will check if 5 is greater than or equal to 0. Yes, it is greater than 0. This code block will be executed, means a of I. A of I means what? Now it is a of 4. What is that? 5. So it will be, see, now we don't want to increment, we want to decrement. That is why it is I minus minus. Decrement means what? Before it was 5, what 4 decrement means it will be 3 now. Okay, so it will check if 3 is greater than 4, yes, 3 is greater than 0, yes, then it will decrement and then it will go to 0, right? So whether 0 is, see, if you write only 0 greater than 0 and if you don't put equal to, then what happens? 0 is greater than 0, no, 0 is equal to 0, so this last element won't be printed. That is why make sure that you have equal to here, means that when it reaches to the last element it will be compared rightly. Okay, so now it will be printed from, elements will be printed from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So when writing any program, better you know the logic inside. So even though if you make mistakes, you can trace it and you can like rewrite the program or modify it. Thank you for watching. Please share and subscribe.